What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl Vanity V. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys have been having a good week. Let's get into today's topic of the day. I'm not surprised that we're here, you guys. We got to kind of go back to the story regarding Kenneth Petty. He is the gift that keeps on giving, y'all. I think Saturday, I want to say, was it Saturday or Sunday? I forget which day specifically, when all of the stuff right after everything happened with Kenneth and his goon friends being idiots and, you know, going online and literally, I mean, we're talking about a whole felon, threatening the life of Offset, threatening him, his friends, threatening to slap Cardi B online. And then obviously this is circulating. I wouldn't doubt that people have probably sent that video to the feds. And so, you know, I did commentary on that last weekend regarding how ridiculous that was, regarding who does that, regarding, like, you know that you have already been in trouble with the law, you are on probation, bruh. And so with all of that being said, why would you go on a video with the other guys that were with him were absolute idiots. Why would you do that, all of that on video for evidence, and then threaten not only Cardi B, but threaten Offset, etc., etc.? It's bad enough for someone to do it if you are not in trouble with the law, but for you to actually have gone to jail for attempted SA, and then not to mention whatever else you've done. I mean, you look like a whole criminal. You look like you've lived your life in and out of prison. I don't know that to be true. I don't know his charges beyond what he went to jail for with the young lady years ago, but he gives like trash. I mean, he just gives trash. So you guys, I want to unpack some of the new news that just hit the webs today. And then I also want to go into a little bit about Nicki Minaj and how, like, this man is literally going to be the downfall of this woman. This very successful businesswoman, rapper. She is a cultural icon, and I want to talk about how she is going to allow this man to really, really drag her down, and how women a lot of times let men like this just drag them through the mud. So let's talk about the new developments, you guys. Kenneth Petty, because like I said, hello, everybody. You know how many people probably sent that video to the police, to the FBI, to the CIA, all of the acronyms, all the government agencies, as proof of what he's doing, right? And nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do anything online. You shouldn't be doing anything anyway. Let me just preface that. But you cannot do anything online. You cannot incriminate yourself online, because the police and the FBI and everything, they're looking. And then the fact that he is with this high profile woman who is, Nicki Minaj is one of the biggest, not just artists, but biggest stars in the world. So you are with her. You're not only not protecting yourself, your son, you're not protecting her and her likeness and her businesses, and just, you know, it just looks so bad all the way around. So with that being said, because we already knew the people, the snitches and all the people, they was going to do what the internet does, and they were going to ensure that law enforcement got a hold of those videos. As of yesterday, September 20th, this man is now been put on house arrest, y'all, for up to 120 days. So what does this mean? That means they are going to be monitoring, obviously, where he goes, where he comes and goes, in addition to what he's drinking, all kinds of stuff. So you have just invited more trouble into your life. And from what I understand, you know, in the past year or two, he never registered as a SA. Once you do those type of crimes, and when you get out of jail, you're supposed to make sure you're registered. Remember, there was all of this hoopla because he never registered and did what he was supposed to do. Because, you know, when you move places or anywhere you live right now, you're supposed to be able to look online to see the SOs, the S offenders that live in your area. You're supposed to be able to know where they live. That way it gives you an opportunity to choose to live there or not, to make sure that you're taking care of your children, all of that. So when he got out of jail, he never did that. When he and Nicki Minaj moved, remember it was a year or two ago, he never did that. So he was in trouble for that. A whole mess. And you know what I forgot to say when I covered this in my first video, you guys? When you are a convicted felon, you are not supposed to be around any other felons. Like, you're not supposed to be around anybody else who has been in jail. And for obvious reasons, you know, not to say that everybody who goes to jail and gets out of jail goes back or is, you know, a lot of people that get out of jail, they want to change their life. But the likelihood of you hanging around with other, you know, convicted felons, y'all hanging together, that increases the likelihood that you will get into some additional trouble. So not surprised at all, you guys, that I think the guy that was the most talkative, the most active on the video, we don't know his name, it doesn't matter. He is a convicted felon. I wouldn't be surprised if all of those guys in that video, it was 2 or 3 other guys are felons. And that goes against and that violates his probation. So because of that, he's in additional trouble. And it's just like everywhere you turn, it's just a whole situation. It's a bad decision. He's a walking billboard for bad decisions. So that is where we're at now. This man is back on house arrest, which means the likelihood of him being able to travel and do this and do that, if he is able to do that kind of stuff, because obviously Nicki Minaj is traveling, she's doing shows, interviews, whatever it is that she does as a huge celebrity. Either he won't be able to go with her to do those things, or it'll be closely monitored, as it should, because you're online making threats to do bodily harm to Cardi B and Offset. Allegedly, all of this stems from a conversation that Kenneth Petty and Offset had in his DMs. You guys can go Google that and look it up. I did see it. The conversation was stupid. If it really was Offset, I mean, Offset was saying some things along the lines of, where you at, meet me here, whatever. He didn't necessarily threaten him, but I think the gist of the conversation, Offset wanted him to stop talking about Cardi B, leave Cardi B alone. He didn't, thank God, Offset had enough sense to not necessarily threaten him in the DM exchange. I'm just gonna say, I'm disappointed in all parties involved. Unless I missed something, the beef between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has never been that deep to me. I don't understand the continual antagonizing from both ends. I don't understand, especially from Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, you too old for this. Like, what are you doing? I think a lot of times that, and I like Nicki Minaj and I like Cardi B too, but I think Nicki, she needs to grow up as well. I think she allows her barbs to like amp her up. I think she is too invested in what the fans have to say. I think that she's too invested in proving herself to other female rappers, and she doesn't need to do that. She is cemented in the industry. You know, I love female rap. You know, I have my favorites, but the bottom line, there's no female rapper that has ever done what Nicki Minaj has done. Nicki Minaj's pen is crazy. All of these things are a fact. And so I don't understand why Nicki feels like she has to prove something when you've already proven it. You know, is Cardi B more exciting? I don't even know if I would say exciting. I just think Cardi B's like the around the way girl, that she was the underdog that we rooted for. And I think that's why people love her, and she's endearing in that way. That doesn't take anything away from you, Nicki. She's not a better rapper than you. She's not a better songwriter than you. I mean, that goes Meg Thee Stallion. I enjoy her too. None of these girls can touch you as it pertains to female rap. So I just don't understand why she's like, it's like, I just don't get it. She doesn't get along with anybody. And at some point you have to look within yourself and say, okay, it can't just be everybody else. There's something that I'm not doing right. I say all that to say Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is ridiculous. Cardi B is the same. She's not innocent in this either. She goes back and forth with her fans. She's always fussing with someone. Even the situation with Tasha K, I feel like she allows Tasha K to bring her into the mud. And it's like, at some point, somebody has to be mature enough to say, okay, we're going to focus on getting this money. We're going to focus on the art. We're going to focus on giving good songs. Because Cardi B, we still waiting for an album from you too. You really should be focusing on that, sis. And so with that being said, I think that this situation is unfortunate. That side note, Kenneth Petty is a lost cause. Sick and shut in list. I feel like there's no rehabilitating that man. I feel like you could just tell just by the person that he is and his actions that he's trash for the rest of his life. And Nicki, boo-boo, you are going to allow this man to be the downfall of you. You really are. You're going to get caught up in lawsuits because of him. I hope you have an airtight prenup that he signed, not the night before the wedding. I pray that you have all of your affairs in order as it pertains to protecting your assets, because this man is going to take you down. And my hope for Nicki Minaj is that she gets as far away from him as she can. She unfortunately has had a baby with him. Beautiful baby. He's so cute. But that ties you to this man probably for the rest of your life. Even when the baby's an adult, there's going to be some level of communication that you will probably have to have with him, unfortunately, for the rest of his life. With that being said, it's not like we can do anything about that. But Nicki Minaj is just... I've never seen... And y'all will let me know, because I'm sure there are other stars that have existed that have been with like whole felons that are like continually dragging their brand down, dragging their life down. And then the kicker is, I got a whole cackle out of Nicki Minaj today. She up here posting stuff today, booed up with him. Ma'am, don't try to take us away from the fact that he is on probation, child. He cannot leave the house. So maybe that's why now you're like, okay, so he's in the house. You know, it's cuddle season. We're gonna be in the house together because you are riding for him, and that is your decision. But y'all about to be in the house because he can't go anywhere. Like, is that the way you really want to live your life, Nicki Minaj? And stop trying to distract us from the fact that things are going on. Like, you're not addressing it. You know what I would really love? I would love it if Nicki would, like, I'm not saying she has to make a public proclamation and tell us all her business, but like, you talk about everything else. So like, it's the elephant in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just be like, yeah, I know a lot of stuff is going on. You know, we're trying to work through it. You know, I'm trying to ensure he stays out of trouble. We working on it, y'all. Just continue to pray for us. Whatever. We would love a statement like that. But instead, Nicki Minaj is like posted up, girl, you are bothered. You ain't fooling nobody. You are trying to pretend for us like you're not bothered, but you're bothered, Nicki. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate. Something is telling me that because, again, Kenneth Petty is the gift that keeps on giving, he's gonna continue to mess up. And even because I do think Nicki is going to eventually leave him. It might be 3, 4, 5 years from now, but this is not a marriage that's going to last, because it is a marriage that is seated in trauma, tragedy, crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the makings for something to fall apart. So I definitely do not think that this is going to last. And if you guys think it's going to last, y'all are crazy. However, it's going to, I guess we'll see how much damage is done in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? So my prayer for her, because he is a lost cause, is that she gets away from him. And Nicki, I want you to grow up. And this is coming from somebody who's a fan of yours. I love your music. I like you. You're hilarious. You have an amazing personality, even outside of the music. That's why we love your music so much. But it's like, you need to grow up too. You need to cut the antics out. You need to recognize how dope you are and stop trying to prove it. Stop fussing with other female artists. Like, what are you doing? This is not advantageous to your brand. This is not beneficial to your brand and your legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just need to do better overall. And you got to get away from this dude, because it's like every 6 months, are we going to be talking about some BS that he's in? Like, that takes away from us talking about how talented you are. But who am I? I just have an opinion just like everybody else. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about this today. You know, let me know what y'all think in the comments. How do you feel about this? Do you agree with Nicki staying with him? I certainly hope you don't agree with Kenneth and his antics. But, you know, jump in my comments. Let me know what you guys think, you guys. As always, like, subscribe, share, and thank you for hanging out with me and listening to my commentary. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.